WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain.
Yes.
So this is a documentary they actually put on YouTube, which was really cool. I think I watched it the night of, and I have so much to say, man. And I think we
Mhm.
both have said it multiple times before this even came out. I think we were just thinking the same thing. And I think it basically just, told you without telling you that Trips doesn't have the power we think he does. I mean, this guy is any wrestling company. The most important thing is what? The booker, creative, the head of that, because
Right.
that helps everything. Yes, merch helps. Yes, the camera crew is great. Yes, Michael Cole and the commentators are great. But if you don't have a product, if you don't have, content, you can't sell it. Rock comes right in. This is a good, obviously, this is just my opinion. And maybe I'm assuming, maybe I'm looking at it differently. But it just pissed me off that The Rock just came in and said, "Hey, we're going to do it my way." And the one thing that really upset me is he called Ari, who is the TKO president, and then he called Nick Khan and he said, "I got a great idea. Final boss. What do you guys think?" And they both said, "Yes, of course." No, 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 no. You run that through Trips. Trips is the head guy here. And you're going to do what? You're going to just go over him. You're going to just say, "Okay, well, I don't have to go to you because I'm a board member." Doesn't matter. Board
Yeah.
members don't create the content. Board members don't sell out foreign arenas. You know,
Yeah.
board members don't have new camera angles. They don't think, you know what I mean? They don't have these creativity, this content, this I don't want to call him a genius because it is what it is. Um, but I think the product is more important than anything. And what we've gotten, yes, the bloodline was part of Vince's storyline, one of his creations. And yes, finish the story was during, Vince's last run there. And, Trips has taken it and he's done really well with it.
Yeah.
But it's not just that, it's just the other thing, like Gunther is finally being put over the right way. Chad Gable, yes, he lost 80 million times to Sammy and Gunther. He's finally being put over. I
Yeah.
don't know what the gimmick would have been with Bray's, I was going to say Bray's brother, Bo Dallas. I don't know what would happen there, but it just seems like he has the finger on the trigger and he understands it. I'm going to stop talking because I can see it. Let's
No,
hear it,
you're
brother.
fine. It's just like so I remember when they announced there was gonna be like a behind the curtain or behind the scenes, whatever from
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
a year
I remember
later, we
for
got
like
it.
that's what I mean. Like they said there was gonna be a documentary about it or whatever, and it was like, all right, cool. And then it didn't come out, and then it still didn't come out, and then it still didn't come out. And then we literally got to being like almost to the day, like 3 months later, it came out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I talk about being any kind of anything close to being like a video editing wizard in any way. You do all the editing here. I don't know how to do that at all. So
Yeah.
what do I know? Maybe that's how long it takes for professional documentaries to be edited. Maybe that was quick for a professional documentary to be edited.
I think
To me,
Rock
though,
looked like shit, and that's why they didn't wanna do it. Go ahead.
that's what I mean. I feel
Yeah,
like they shot one originally that literally was just, which is, and it's crazy to even put it this way. I think they shot one originally that made The Rock look more like a total just dictator, thinking all like whatever whatever your plans are don't matter because I'm the fucking Rock, and when I come back in, that's what the people want to see. And like, yeah, he's not wrong about that to some extent, but like
yeah,
no, at the same time, man. Like not yes, but no. Like, yeah, absolutely. Did I want to see the when the Rock showed back up, did I want to see Rock in a WrestleMania match? Absolutely. 100%. I am not going to
yeah,
deny that at all. Did I want to see Rock versus Roman for the title in the main event? Absolutely not. Go back on our channel, watch any of the videos around then. I never wanted that match for the title. I
yeah.
said I wanted that match between the two of them, but it didn't need the title at all. It still doesn't to this day. Doesn't need the title. It never needed it. Like it's
Yep.
and like to just it's such a symptom of like the WWE not being run by one person like this the whole the merger the buyout the selling the whatever it was where it's with TKO with Endeavor and everything and there's a board now and all this kind of stuff you know it's like I remember when my first job that I ever had was working in this like catering place where I was working in the kitchen. We all just used to work all damn day,
Yeah,
bust our asses, whatever. And there was an owner there who would show up like tops 4 times a month at most, usually less. And when he did show up, most of us didn't get to see him or anything. But there would be like every once in a great while, there would be like some like a wedding or something we were doing where he would come in and like watch us doing stuff or whatever, and just start being like, nope, 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 nope,
Yep.
like doing all this stuff, and we're just like, bro, I
Yeah.
don't have to
Leave us
hide his
alone.
name. No one knows him and knows where I work. It's just like, Bill,
Show me.
get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
You're not here. You don't know anything,
Yep.
and we just dropped these like outrageous things, and it was just like as watching The Rock on this, I'm just like, this is literally just that in
Yep.
the other in a thing that I love in wrestling, where it was just him coming back and being like, "Well, I'm a board member now. The people want to
Yeah.
see me. Let's just do it." Whatever your creative fix, work around my thing. I have Brian Gewirtz, who wrote a bunch of things in the Attitude
Oh
Era. He's a
God.
great writer.
Yeah.
He's my guy. Let's make it all happen. Like, no,
Yeah.
no. Okay. I'm sure there's a couple of, dads or whatever out there that have like older kids that are probably like, no, son, you don't need to see Cody finish the story this year because The Rock is back. But the
Yeah.
vast majority of us were like, no, great, you're back, but no.
Yeah.
We don't want that main event at all. And it just like how asinine it was, like to hear it in the documentary too, to bring it back around to that, to stop ranting on everything else, but like to bring it back around to the documentary where like, you know, I call Ari and hey, I have this great idea and da 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 da. And then it cuts to Triple H just being like, so then the question I talked to Cody and he's like, well, what about me? And I'm like, well, we'll figure that out. Like, shut what? What?
Yeah.
Why was that what it was? There's no anywhere in the universe that would make logical sense to like you spent
Yeah.
2 years building this guy up, and The Rock talks about that too. Of like, oh, we built this story for 2 years, but the story is The
Oh
Rock
my
versus
God.
Roman. Like, and he references, oh, and we planted seeds on young Rock, bro. Anybody, any
That
of the
was
followers
embarrassing.
of this page, if you watched Young Rock for like literally watched all of the show, like you
It
paid
was
attention to
canceled.
and followed that show. Exactly. It certainly was. But if you watched all of the episodes of that show and you made sure to make sure you watched it and you were a fan of that show, please leave a comment and tell me how wrong that I am, because that show was dumb. It's terrible. No one saw that and was like, ooh, they're planting the seeds for a WrestleMania match. No, it was a throwaway scene and a throwaway show. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he was the hottest member of the bloodline and or the hottest member, let's just say the hottest guy in wrestling. Of course you're going to reference him.
yes.
Um again, this is my opinion, so please just take it with a grain of salt, but it just the XFL failed with him. He had to join the USFL. Rocky, or not Rocky, what you just said. Plain Rock, what the hell is that? I don't even
A
know.
Young Rock.
Young Rock. They canceled that. I mean, if you just look at his background with Hollywood, he's known to be an asshole. I mean, it just follows him. I don't know what it is. And let's not be dumb. Let's not ignore the fact that Trips and Rock never really got together, never really
Hmm.
liked each other. And
Hmm.
now it's just like Rock's back and I got to do something. I don't feel bad for Trips just because he's where he's at and I think it's earned, but it's like what the fuck? He dealt with Vince. Vince sent him back or
That's what I
got rid of
mean.
him, made a Rainbow NXT, and then he had a health issue,
Point
and
out.
then the whole thing with Vince came out, and then it's just
Yeah,
like,
man.
well, now we're gonna add The Rock to the mix, and now it's like he's he's still, again, I don't feel bad for Trips, but it's like, is he gonna catch a break? I get it, I know he's done a lot, I get it.
Mhm.
NXT Black and Gold is gonna be one of the
Yeah.
best, eras of wrestling, but it just seems like, oh my god, he just can't get away from it. It just
It almost came across like when Rock was talking about it, and then I became a board member and all that kind of stuff. Like it gave the vibes, and I'm not trying to be all gloom and doom and say that it's exactly this or anything that way. So don't anyone come at that
yeah,
with or anything either. But like it kind of had like the vibes of like all the stuff they talk about with like WCW, where it was like once
yeah,
like Turner wanted wrestling, so Ted Turner had wrestling, but then when like other people in Turner broadcasting like were trying to put their 2 cents in about stuff and like we need to see something with this, we need something with that, some kind of crossover and stuff, and then we started getting the Kiss Demon and all this stuff like that. Like it's like it had a very that feeling where it was like, well, we're this big company. People love The Rock. The Rock was big for you guys. Let's make The Rock the big thing for this year. And it's like, well, no, man.
Yeah.
Like, no, let's not do that. I don't think that's a good idea in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I got two things. Let's start with one more doom and gloom, and then let's get to the one
yeah,
positive
for
of
sure.
the documentary. I'm going to go back to what you said with because I just think this is full of crap. I mean, he went to Rumble when I was there. I think you were there, right? Rumble, Roman, when he beat
2015
him.
with Roman.
Yeah.
I was not at that one,
No.
unfortunately. No.
Well, that's another thing he said. He said, "We planted the seeds there." Dude, are you kidding me? You wanted out. You did not want to be there. You wanted to do your Jumanji and your Kevin Hart PG Disney movies. You didn't want to be there. And you came
No.
back just because of your cousin, who is just phenomenal. And that was the reason. Don't tell me you planted the seeds. I hate when people do that. They did it
I'm gonna
before with,
jump on that point with you real quick because he wants to
let's
throw
hear
like,
it.
oh, we planted the seeds then, I came back then, and everything like that. Like, no, they brought you back then because they were really trying to shove Roman down our throats, and they thought that when Philly booed the hell out of him for winning the Rumble, they thought, oh, we'll throw the Rock out there and they'll cheer him. And guess what? We didn't because Philly doesn't do that. We still booed The Rock because nobody cared. Nobody wanted
Yeah.
Roman then. Now, this year, this past year, we all wanted Roman, and you came back and were like, no, we don't need you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on. I
Yeah,
blabbed
no,
on
that's fine. And then the one positive thing, and before I get to that, let's just remember this. Trips and Cody, as much as Cody says Trips was his role model, he did some shit in AEW that would piss off anyone. So let's just remember that before I get to the positive. What I love about Cody, and I love that I wasn't a Cody crybaby, but I was right behind him. I was standing tall. I wanted him to finish the story, and he did. Do I remember it? No, but that's another day, another time. Um, I love that he just pushed forward. He didn't step back when he
Yes.
got the bad news. And that was awkward too when he came out. I don't want to face you at Mania. I don't want to finish the story there. Let's finish the story in Alabama on a house show. On a house show, like stupid. But he took everything and he just did it. He just continued to do what we all wanted and what we all knew was right. And it was right. Yes, there were crybabies. Yes, people wanted to see The Rock versus Roman. That will happen. I don't know when, but I just love the willpower. The
Yeah.
I will not fail. I will succeed. This is what was planned. This is what will happen. And I think for me, I'm talking to myself. I think that main event at WrestleMania 40. Yes, I was there live. Yes, we were there live, but that's top 5 in my opinion just
Oh,
because
yeah.
of the magnitude
Oh,
of
yeah.
what that means. Not because of the legends, which I didn't really care for, but for him to finish the story and Cole finished the story. I mean, Sammy, is that her name? The
Brandy.
announcer.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No,
Samantha.
no,
Samantha
no.
Irvin.
Samantha.
Her
Brandy.
voice
Jeez.
cracking. Yep.
Yeah, her voice cracking, she crying. So that's the one positive. I mean, yes, Trips did what was right, but
Yeah.
he didn't have a choice. I mean, look at
For sure.
DB. Vince didn't have a choice. Look at Kofi. Vince didn't have a choice. We said it. And it's not because we know better. We just knew that that was the right thing. And it was the right thing. Don't tell me it wasn't. So, what do you got with Cody? And then
Well,
we'll
no,
get it.
yeah. In that same vein, I was the positive that came out for me was like I love that they talked about how like even at the Rumble, they knew they were already going like, well, it's going to be Rock and Roman, and then they still had Cody win the Rumble and everything. So like Cody knew going into that they had Rock and Roman and Ryan, but then he still like he wins and he's just like he did a thing we talked about like in the review of the Rumble where he like pointed just like I am gonna fight you, Roman, at WrestleMania. I am gonna
Yeah,
fight
he
you.
gave no
Like
shit.
knowing already it wasn't supposed to be that way. He's like, yeah, no, it's gonna be. Sorry.
What's cool
Perfect.
too? I'm just assuming here, and again, I'm maybe reading between the lines or reading too much into it, but I feel like maybe Tripp said, "Yo, point at Roman," like because
Yeah.
again, it's such a weird relationship. I don't even know where to put my finger on it, but I know Cody said it in the past that Trips was one of the guys, one of the role
Yeah.
models for Cody. I would love it, man. As much as I may say this, storyline is slowly and it's not as great, but it's picking up. We'll get to that. One last thing, and I think this is universal. I think um, every single account on X was posting this meme. I mean, if we all think about it
Yeah.
and mock it, like we understand, like we all get it. We all get that he's I don't want to say a crook because I The Rock is one of the best. We even talked about it with the catchphrases. He's creative. It's in his blood. It's in his DNA. He is good at what he does when it comes to wrestling. But if we all see the same thing, we all mock it together. I think
Right.
in the back of our minds, we understand like, hey, maybe he was a little pushy. Maybe he didn't need to do this or that, or I don't know. Uh, I just find it like we can all relate, as in like everybody was mocking him for that one reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Because they like I said, it was like they I feel like all of the majority of the time it took for this to come out was to try to make The Rock not look like as much of a douchebag as he did, but he still looked like a massive douchebag with that, where it was just like he was the mastermind behind all this stuff, and that meme has been gold seeing those pop up,
yeah.
you know?
You turned heel because you had to, buddy. You weren't
Yeah,
getting
like,
over.
that's what I
Like just
mean, dude, it's
you need
not
to, yeah,
you turned heel because we forced you to, because we didn't want you there. We didn't
yeah,
want you in that position at that time, man, like,
yeah,
everyone can try to talk. Like, there's anyone, wrestler, fan, journalist, whatever, can talk
yeah,
all they want about, like, wrestling makes you feel these things or whatever. Like, we don't have to listen to the fans, but like, you do have to, because, we
yeah,
wouldn't be, I guarantee that, like, if they had gone through with the plans the way that it shows in the documentary and everything, and the main event of WrestleMania 40 was Rock versus Roman for the title, it would not have been as big of a deal,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
I mean, I had like tickets bought for at least night two at that point already, but
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it would have been cool to go and been like, yeah, cool. I got to see The Rock do an entrance live in my lifetime and everything, but like, I would not have been as nearly as stoked on that in any way,
yeah, yeah,
regardless of what the ending would have been. Because even if it was something where they try to do like, oh, well, the ending happens and it's whatever, so Cody ends up doing whatever. Like, no, like, that diminishes it.
yeah,
That takes away from all of it. Like, he had to
yeah.
finish the story.